Let's jump right in. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're breaking down the exact mechanism modern manufacturers use to totally escape the commodity trap and just dominate global supply chains. If you've ever wondered how certain suppliers go from being easily replaceable cogs to absolutely indispensable partners, well, you're in the right place. We're zeroing in entirely on a core concept called the Design-to-Delivery Strategic Manufacturing Framework. We'll unpack what that actually means, look at a real-world example, and see why it's completely flipping the manufacturing landscape upside down.
So let's kick things off with a fundamental question, one that really challenges everything we usually assume about how products are brought to life. What if manufacturers didn't just build, but actually designed? Traditionally, we think of manufacturing as the end of the line, right? A brand dreams up a product, engineers draw it, and then hand those blueprints over to a factory whose only job is to just make the thing. Asking this what if flips that whole dynamic. It forces us to imagine a world where the creator and the builder are totally intertwined. And this really perfectly illustrates that paradigm shift. The old, traditional build-to-print model basically leaves a supplier waiting by the phone for blueprints, just making parts based on preset drawings. But the design-to-delivery model, it ditches the waiting game. Instead, it's all about working directly alongside the original equipment manufacturer, the OEM, from the very beginning. They aren't just making the product anymore. They're active partners shaping what that product looks and feels like from day one. So here is the absolute crucial takeaway. The design-to-delivery model is a comprehensive business framework, and it's not just some corporate buzzword. It means a component manufacturer actively participates in literally every phase of a product's creation. We're talking about being there for the initial styling concepts, guiding the engineering development all the way through to final manufacturing. It totally repositions the manufacturer as an end-to-end creator, rather than a mere factory taking orders. This whole framework really operates across three key stages: concept and styling, engineering development, and final production and delivery. That's the roadmap. So let's quickly break each of these down so you can see exactly how this core concept actually plays out in practice.
Right, starting with stage one. In this model, during the initial concept and styling phase, the supplier is literally in the room, collaborating directly with OEM design teams at the earliest possible ideation stage. They aren't just talking about material tolerances. They're making critical decisions on aesthetics, finishes, and the whole visual brand identity. Imagine a luxury car interior. The manufacturer is right there, deciding what the final finish needs to look like to perfectly capture the brand's vibe. Then we hit stage two, engineering development. This is where the magic really happens, because the supplier has to bridge a massive gap. They take those beautiful pie-in-the-sky artistic concepts and do the heavy lifting of translating them into hard, manufacturable technical specs. It's one thing to sketch out a sleek chrome bezel. It's a whole different ballgame to engineer exactly how that bezel will be mass-produced efficiently without losing a single ounce of its visual appeal. And finally, stage three. Because the manufacturer was involved in the brainstorming and drove the engineering, they are perfectly positioned to execute the final production. They manufacture the finished decorative components, and this is huge, they manage the entire end-to-end supply chain. By owning this final step, they guarantee that the original design intent survives the harsh realities of mass production completely intact.
Okay, to really grasp this core concept, we need a concrete example. A perfect real-world illustration of building out a design-to-delivery framework is watching a company expand its capabilities through strategic acquisitions. Specifically, the acquisitions of Exotech Plastics and Walter Pack India. These weren't just random purchases. They were deliberate, strategic moves to build an absolute powerhouse, capable of handling every single phase of the model we just walked through. Let's look at what those acquisitions actually brought to the table. By bringing Exotech Plastics and Walter Pack India into the fold, the manufacturers successfully expanded their end-to-end capabilities into some seriously complex, highly visual product lines, specifically chrome plating and interior molding. These are components where aesthetics and engineering are just incredibly intertwined. You can't just build to print a premium interior molding. You absolutely have to design it for manufacturability from the very start. It's the design-to-delivery ethos in action. Now, having seen this process in action, we have to ask the obvious question: why go through all this extra effort? Seriously, why take on all this immense responsibility for design and styling when you could just sit back, relax, and wait for a blueprint? It takes way more talent, way more risk, and a lot more investment.
Well, the answer comes down to massive strategic advantages. This framework completely transforms a company's defensive posture through three main pillars.
high switching costs, a superior margin profile, and global competitiveness. Let's explore how this model unlocks each of these game-changing business outcomes. First up, high switching costs and customer stickiness. By entangling their own technical capabilities and design expertise right into the OEM's core process from day one, the supplier creates deeply integrated relationships. Think about it. If an OEM relies on you to define the finish and engineer the part, they can't just fire you and hand your blueprint to a cheaper factory down the street because you helped invent that blueprint. It creates relationships that competitors literally cannot displace. You become incredibly sticky. And naturally, that leads to a massive financial payoff. When you're just making basic commodity parts based on someone else's drawing, you're competing entirely on price. It's standard value. But by moving past that and becoming a design-led aesthetics provider, you offer a much higher value add. Because you're solving complex engineering problems, you can command significantly superior margins. You're no longer just selling a piece of plastic. You're selling a complete, finalized aesthetic solution. Which brings us to the third advantage, global competitiveness. Ultimately, having these full end-to-end capabilities is the exact ticket needed to compete internationally. Major Tier 1 OEM programs around the globe are actively looking for partners who can handle the sheer complexity of modern manufacturing, all the way from the initial sketch to the final delivery box. This model is exactly what elevates a regional parts maker into a true global Tier 1 manufacturing partner. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with a critical question to chew on. Is your industry vulnerable to a design-to-delivery disruptor? Whether you're in automotive, electronics, or consumer goods, if traditional suppliers are just sitting around waiting for blueprints, they are leaving the door wide open for a competitor willing to step into the design room. The shift from build to print to end-to-end creation is happening right now. Keep this in mind as you look at the supply chains around you and ask yourself, who's just building and who is truly designing the future? Thanks for exploring this with me today.